Chosen one, you missed it the fourth time. I am not saying that to shame you. I am saying it because God is placing this in front of you right now with urgency. If you don't listen, this moment can slip away. Some opportunities don't come back on our schedule. Some doors are not permanent fixtures, they are holy windows. And if you keep postponing what heaven is trying to activate, you may only realize what you lost after it is already moved on. What you are hearing right now is not coincidence. It is a divine wake-up call, sharp enough to rattle the parts of you that have grown numb, gentle enough to remind you that you are still invited. When you look back, you can probably name the signs you ignored, the nudges you felt and dismissed, the chances that almost found you until you convinced yourself you were not ready, not worthy, not prepared. Let me tell you about Marcus. He received a clear prompting to start his ministry 4 separate times over 2 years. First time, he thought it was just emotion. Second time, he was too busy with his job. Third time, fear told him he wasn't qualified enough. The fourth time came through a stranger who walked up to him at a coffee shop. The stranger said, "God told me to tell you, stop waiting." That day, Marcus finally moved. Within 6 months, his ministry reached over 50,000 people. But here is what haunts him. He calculated that if he had started after the first sign, he would have reached over 200,000 souls. 2 years of delay meant 150,000 people who needed his message didn't receive it when they needed it most. Chosen one, the fourth time, is not just about you. It is about everyone connected to your obedience. I have watched this pattern destroy countless destinies. God opens a door, and we walk past it. We assume we can return later. We tell ourselves, "I will handle it when the timing is better." Then later comes, and the door has closed. Not because God was cruel, but because the season moved. That is why this message isn't casual advice. It is a lifeline. It is an alignment point. It is a chance to respond before the opportunity becomes a memory. Before you move on, do 3 simple things. Hit the like button, subscribe so we can reach 50,000 chosen ones, and comment the number 99. Let it be your marker, your public. Yes, your signal that you are not letting this moment pass again. Share this with anyone you know who keeps missing their signs, and stay until the very end. Because if you are truly a chosen one, your life will not remain the same after what you are about to understand. Listen carefully. The fourth time is never just coincidence. In life, patterns repeat because they are trying to teach you, warn you, guide you. Like a river carving a channel through stone, repetition shapes destiny, patient, persistent, unstoppable. You may overlook the first 2 or 3 passes. Most people do. The first time feels like an accident. The second feels like a strange echo. The third feels like pressure. But the fourth time, this is where hesitation meets consequence. This is where a decision is demanded. It is not superstition, it is structure. It is the moment where life and heaven together insist, you cannot keep postponing what you were called to carry. Think about the biblical pattern. Peter denied Jesus 3 times, but the fourth interaction, when Jesus asked, "Do you love me?" 3 times by the fire, that became Peter's turning point. That is when denial transformed into devotion. God doesn't waste patterns. He uses them to prepare you for breakthrough. Look at Joseph. He had 4 distinct dream-related encounters that defined his journey. First, his own prophetic dreams as a youth. Second, interpreting dreams in prison for the cupbearer and baker. Third, being remembered by the cupbearer. Fourth, standing before Pharaoh to interpret the ultimate dream that launched him into destiny. Each encounter built on the previous one, each prepared him for the next level. The fourth time wasn't just another dream interpretation. It was the culmination of everything God had been developing in him through years of waiting. Look at Moses at the burning bush. God had to call his name twice. Moses, Moses. That repetition wasn't for God's benefit. It was for Moses. The first call got his attention. The second call demanded his response. And even then, Moses gave 4 different excuses before finally obeying. Who am I? What if they don't believe me? I am not eloquent. Send someone else. God answered each excuse with patience, but eventually said, now go. The fourth excuse was the last one God entertained. The pattern is clear throughout Scripture. God is patient, but his patience has purpose. He repeats his call to prepare you, not to let you procrastinate indefinitely. Each repetition contains a lesson. The first time plants a seed of awareness, the second time waters it with confirmation. The third time adds pressure for growth. The fourth time demands harvest. If you don't harvest when the fruit is ripe, it rots on the vine. Timing matters in the kingdom of God. Here is the lesson. Awareness without action is incomplete. Insight without obedience is unfinished. You can notice signs and still miss destiny if you keep hesitating at thresholds. To understand the fourth time is to see life not as random events, but as a sequence of thresholds, moments where the invisible becomes visible, where preparation meets opportunity, where God says, this is the turn. Thresholds require 3 things: reflection, discernment, and courage. Sarah's story proves this. She is a financial analyst who kept getting the same intuition. Start a non-profit helping single mothers with financial literacy. First time, she journaled about it. Second time, she researched but didn't act. Third time, she created a business plan but never launched. The fourth time, she met a single mother in her office building who was about to lose her apartment due to financial mistakes. Mistakes Sarah knew she could have prevented. That encounter shattered her excuses. She launched within 30 days. Today, 5 years later, her organization has helped over 3,000 families avoid financial catastrophe. But Sarah openly admits her biggest regret. If I had started at sign number 2, we could have helped 2,000 more families. My hesitation had a cost I can measure in broken families who needed us but couldn't find us in time. Chosen one. Being chosen is not exemption from struggle. It is amplification of responsibility. Many people misunderstand this. They think being chosen means being favored in a way that removes accountability. But the higher the calling, the heavier the weight. Every opportunity carries obligation. Every insight demands action. Every privilege tests how you will wield it. Responsibility over privilege means embracing refinement instead of avoiding it. The path of purpose is rarely smooth. It is designed to strengthen, not to comfort. Obstacles aren't punishments. They are preparation. Delays aren't denials. They are development seasons. But there is a difference between divine delay and human procrastination. Divine delay includes growth. Procrastination includes excuses. Divine delay makes you ready. Procrastination makes you regretful. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delights in his way. Psalm 37, verse 23. Chosen one. Let's get practical. Right now, you need to identify what your fourth time moment is calling you to do, not someday. Today, here are the signs you are in a fourth time moment. First sign, repetition of the same message through different sources. Maybe it is a career change, a relationship decision, a financial move, a ministry calling, or a creative project. You keep encountering the same theme in sermons, conversations, random articles, dreams. That is not coincidence. That is orchestration, second sign. Increasing discomfort with your current situation. What used to satisfy you now feels empty. What used to excite you now feels meaningless. That is not depression. That is divine dissatisfaction pushing you toward your next assignment. Third sign, unusual opportunities or connections appearing, doors opening that you didn't knock on, people entering your life with exactly what you need, resources showing up at the right time. These aren't lucky breaks, they are confirmations that heaven is aligning circumstances for your obedience. Fourth sign, a growing sense of urgency you cannot explain. Even when logic says you have time, your spirit feels pressure. That is the fourth time alarm. It is telling you the window is closing. Fifth sign, this message is landing in your spirit with unusual weight right now. If you feel a tightness in your chest, tears forming, or a sudden clarity as you hear these words, that is your confirmation. Your spirit recognizes what your mind keeps resisting. Now, here is what you must do in the next 24 hours. Step 1. Write it down. Take out your phone right now and type out the thing you keep getting signs about. Name it clearly. I am being called to. Don't overthink it. You already know what it is. Step 2. Identify your first action, not your 10th step. Your first one. What is the smallest, most immediate thing you can do to move toward this calling? For Marcus, it was registering a domain name. For Sarah, it was scheduling coffee with one single mother. What is yours? Write it down. Step 3. Set a deadline. Not soon. Not when I am ready. A specific date and time. By 6 p.m. tomorrow, I will. This creates accountability. Vague intentions produce vague results. Specific commitments produce breakthrough. Step 4. Tell someone. Text one person you trust and say, I am committing to this action by this deadline. Hold me accountable. Public commitment increases follow through by 65%, according to behavioral science. More importantly, it invites God's people into your obedience. And where 2 or 3 gather in agreement, heaven moves. Chosen one. I know what you are thinking, but what if I fail? What if I am not ready? What if it is not the right time? Let me address these directly, because these are the 3 obstacles that stop 90% of chosen ones from ever fulfilling their calling. Obstacle 1. Fear of failure. This is not humility. It is pride disguised as caution. You are essentially saying your potential embarrassment matters more than obedience. You are prioritizing your reputation over God's instruction. Let me tell you about David Chen, a software engineer in Seattle for 4 years. He felt called to create a tech platform connecting churches with community needs. First time the idea came, he thought it was too ambitious. Second time, he started coding but quit after 2 weeks. He was afraid it wouldn't work. Third time, he shared it with friends who were lukewarm, and he took that as a sign to stop. The fourth time, he was laid off from his job during the pandemic. Sitting at home with nothing but time, the prompting came again, but stronger. You have been asking me for a sign. This is it. Your job security is gone. Now you have nothing to lose and everything to gain if you finally obey. David built the platform in 3 months. Within the first year, it connected 240 churches with over 15,000 volunteers serving their communities. Today, it is in 1,200 cities. But here is what David says in every interview. My biggest mistake wasn't starting late. It was believing my fear was wisdom. I thought I was being prudent. I was actually being disobedient. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Moses said, "I am not eloquent." God used him to deliver a nation. Gideon said, "I am the weakest in my family." God used him to defeat an army. Esther said, "I could die approaching the king." God used her to save her entire people. Your inadequacy is not a disqualification. It is the setup for God's glory. He specializes in using unqualified people, so no one can say they did it by their own strength. Obstacle 2. The right time trap. The right time excuse is the most dangerous lie because it sounds so reasonable. I will do it when I have more money, when the kids are older, when I finish this degree, when I have more experience, when the economy is better, when I feel more confident. There will never be a perfect time. There will always be a reason to wait. Bills to pay, things to learn, people to please, fears to resolve, circumstances to improve. But here is the truth. Chosen ones must understand. Obedience creates readiness. Action produces clarity. Movement generates momentum. You don't get ready and then start. You start, and the journey makes you ready. Think about it. When did God call Moses? When he was a murderer hiding in the desert at age 80. When did God call Gideon? When he was hiding in a wine press, terrified of enemies. When did God call Mary to bear the Messiah? When she was an unmarried teenager in a culture that could have stoned her for pregnancy out of wedlock. None of these were good times by human standards, but they were God's times. And God's timing is always perfect, even when it feels inconvenient. David didn't feel ready to fight Goliath. He just knew God was bigger than the giant. That decision, while he was still a teenager with a slingshot, defined his entire legacy. If he had waited until he felt ready, Goliath would have kept terrorizing Israel indefinitely. Obstacle 3. What people will think. This one destroys more destinies than the other two combined. The fear of judgment, the weight of others' expectations, the pressure to conform. Here is what I have learned after years of watching chosen ones. The people who judge your obedience are never the people who will celebrate your breakthrough. The same voices telling you to be realistic and play it safe today will be the ones claiming they always believed in you when you succeed. You cannot simultaneously please people and obey God. You will have to choose. And when you choose obedience, some people will be confused. Some will be critical. Some will walk away. Let them. Anyone who cannot support your obedience doesn't deserve access to your destiny. This isn't about being arrogant or cutting people off carelessly. It is about protecting what God has entrusted to you. Remember, Jesus himself couldn't perform many miracles in his hometown because of their unbelief. Sometimes the people closest to you are the biggest obstacles to your calling. Not because they are evil, but because they have known you at one level and cannot envision you at the next level. Your fourth time moment requires that you value God's opinion more than human approval. Period. Chosen one. What happens if you ignore it again? Let me be direct with you. Because love tells the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Inaction is not neutral. Neglect has consequences. Every time you say no to your calling, you strengthen the pattern of avoidance. You make it easier to delay next time. You train your spirit to ignore divine prompting. Eventually, you can become so numb to God's voice that you stop hearing it altogether. That is the scariest part. It is not that God stops calling, it is that you stop recognizing the call. I have counseled people in their 50s and 60s who can trace their regrets back to a moment in their 20s or 30s. A moment when they chose comfort over calling. They ignored the fourth time sign. The opportunity moved on, and decades later, they are still wondering what if. One man, let's call him Robert, told me through tears at age 58. I knew at 28 I was supposed to leave my corporate job and go into missions. I felt it so clearly 4 times over 2 years. God made it unmistakable. A mission team visited my church. I met a missionary who described exactly what I felt called to do. I had a vivid dream. Then a financial gift came out of nowhere that would have funded my first year, but I was afraid of looking irresponsible. I wanted the security. I wanted people's approval, so I stayed. I am still at that company. I make good money. I am miserable, and I have watched from a distance as the mission field I was called to has exploded with need while I have done nothing but manage spreadsheets for 3 decades. That is not condemnation. That is reality. The cost of disobedience isn't always immediate. Sometimes it is a slow leak, years of wondering what could have been, opportunities that pass to others, a lingering sense that you are living below your purpose. But there is another consequence many chosen ones don't consider. The people you were meant to impact never meet you. The lives you were meant to change never get changed. The problems you were designed to solve remain unsolved. Your calling isn't just about you, it is about everyone connected to your obedience. When you delay, they wait. When you refuse, they lose. When Marcus delayed his ministry for 2 years, 150,000 people didn't get the message they needed when they needed it. When Sarah hesitated with her non-profit, 2,000 families faced financial ruin that she could have prevented. Who is waiting for you to finally obey? What breakthrough is on hold because you keep postponing? Whose life is stuck because you will not move forward? These are uncomfortable questions, but chosen ones must face them. The other consequence is spiritual. Every time you hear God's voice and choose not to respond, you are not just missing an opportunity, you are damaging the relationship. Imagine if someone you loved kept calling you, texting you, sending you signs, trying to get your attention about something urgent, and you kept ignoring them. Eventually, the relationship suffers, not because they stop loving you, but because you have shown that their communication doesn't matter to you. It is the same with God. He is not going to force you. He is not going to manipulate you. He is going to present the opportunity, confirm it multiple ways, and wait for your response. But if you keep refusing, don't be surprised when the opportunities stop coming. Not because He is punishing you, but because you have demonstrated you are not ready to steward what He offers. Don't let that be your story. But when you respond, when you finally say yes, here is what happens, and I am not speaking theoretically. I am speaking from years of watching chosen ones make this decision and witnessing the aftermath. First, immediate spiritual shift. The moment you commit to obedience, something changes in the atmosphere around you. It is like a lock clicking open, a seal breaking, a frequency aligning. You might not see it immediately, but it is happening. Angels are activated. Heaven takes notice. Resources begin moving in your direction. Doors you assumed were sealed begin to loosen. Not because you are forcing them, because obedience is the key that fits the lock. Paths you thought were blocked begin to open. And here is the supernatural part. These aren't doors you even knew to look for. They appear. Connections you prayed for begin to form. People you needed to meet suddenly enter your life through coincidences that are clearly orchestrated. And what you have been asking God for will not only appear someday in the distance, it will start moving toward you with speed and precision you didn't expect. I have seen people obey on a Monday and have breakthrough by Friday. I have watched confirmation come within 24 hours of a decision, not always, but often enough to recognize the pattern. This is bigger than manifestation. This is spiritual timing. This is heaven's order intersecting your obedience. Let me tell you about Jennifer. She is a nurse who felt called for 3 years to start a ministry helping hospital patients facing terminal diagnoses. 3 times she tried to start and quit within weeks. Fear, doubt, busyness. The 4th time the prompting came, she was exhausted from a double shift. A dying patient grabbed her hand and said, "I wish there was someone who could help people like me process what is happening spiritually. We get medical care, but no one helps us prepare our souls." That sentence broke through every excuse. Jennifer went home and wrote out a plan. Within 48 hours, she had reached out to her hospital administration, 3 local pastors, and a friend who was a social worker. Within 30 days, she had official clearance to start a volunteer program. Within 6 months, she was serving 40 patients a month. Within 2 years, her model was being replicated in 15 hospitals across 3 states. But here is what Jennifer told me that shows the true power of 4th-time obedience. The craziest part wasn't how fast things moved. It was how easy they became once I finally said yes. For 3 years, every time I tried to start, I hit wall after wall. But when I obeyed in the 4th-time moment, it was like every obstacle dissolved. The hospital administrator I had been trying to meet for months called me out of the blue that same week. The funding I thought I had need to fundraise for showed up through a grant I didn't even apply for. Someone else nominated my idea. The volunteers I needed appeared from places I had never thought to look. It wasn't that the path was easy, but it was clear. God had been waiting for my obedience to release what he had already prepared. That is the pattern. Obedience doesn't make challenges disappear, but it makes solutions appear. Second, clarity multiplies. Before obedience, everything feels foggy. You are second-guessing, overthinking, analyzing. After obedience, even though you don't have all the answers, you have peace. You have direction. You know the next step, even if you cannot see the full staircase. Third, your capacity expands. You discover abilities you didn't know you had, courage you didn't think you possessed, wisdom that shows up right when you need it. This isn't you becoming superhuman. This is God revealing what was always inside you but remained dormant until obedience activated it. Fourth, your testimony becomes powerful. When you obey despite fear, despite lack, despite opposition, and then you watch God move, your story becomes a weapon against doubt. Not just for others, but for yourself. Every future challenge becomes easier because you have proof that obedience works. Fifth, you enter a new level of spiritual authority. There is a weight that comes with obedience, a credibility. When you pray, things shift faster. When you speak, people listen differently. Why? Because you have proven you are serious about your relationship with God. You have shown you value his voice over comfort, and that positions you for greater assignments. This is bigger than personal success. This is about becoming who you were created to be. This is about stepping into your full identity as a chosen one. Spiritual timing responds to readiness, not to noise, not to ego, not to fantasy readiness. And readiness is built through 3 things. 1. Focus. The ability to eliminate distractions and concentrate on what matters. Chosen ones cannot afford to waste attention on things that don't align with their assignment. Every moment spent on lesser things is a moment stolen from your purpose. 2. Discipline. The capacity to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Feelings are temporary. Commitment is permanent. Discipline bridges the gap between intention and achievement. 3. Wisdom. The discernment to recognize divine timing, distinguish between God's voice and your emotions, and act with both courage and prudence. These 3, focus, discipline, wisdom are not optional for chosen ones. They are requirements. How long will you hesitate between two opinions? 1 Kings 18, verse 21. That question is not condemnation. It is confrontation. It asks you to choose. Here is my final word to you, chosen one. You are reading these words right now because you are at a crossroads. You can feel it, even if you cannot fully explain it. This is the line. This is the pivot. This is the threshold. The fourth time is not meant to scare you. It is meant to wake you. It is the moment where heaven says, "Stop delaying the chapter I have been trying to open." You can keep drifting. You can keep observing. You can keep saying later. You can keep repeating the cycle. Or you can cross the threshold, because the fourth time is never just coincidence. It is a call to action, and you were born to answer it. In the next 24 hours, your life can begin to shift in ways you have only imagined, not through magic, not through luck, through obedience. Do the 4 steps I gave you. Write it down. Identify your first action. Set your deadline. Tell someone. Then watch what God does when a chosen one finally stops hesitating and starts moving. Whatever you do, do it with all your might. Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10. That is not mere productivity. It is wholeheartedness. It is alignment. It is the difference between existing and truly living. If this message is landing in your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs strength today. Comment 99 below as your marker that you are choosing faith over fear, alignment over anxiety, purpose over the past. Not as superstition, but as a simple act of unity. A way of saying, God, I am here, I am listening, I am ready. The fourth time is now. Your move, chosen one.